I'm training for the New York Marathon, and I'm gonna try to document each week. So I just got done with the first run of the entire training plan. Not too bad, 3 miles, little hot, but the race is in November, so I'm hoping heat won't be a factor. But I'm gonna check in each week, so just wanna kick things off with saying hi. Well, that's week 1 in the books. The long run was 5 miles. Feeling a little nervous, but I think that's part of it. Week 2, midweek run, 7 a.m. Let's go, New York Marathon. End of week 2, 6-mile run. Found this really cool path by my house. Okay, I was able to turn around at 3 miles. It was kind of perfect. There was an offshoot, so a day when we have a longer run, we'll check that one out. Okay, here we are, week 4. We went on a little trip, so I feel a little behind. I'm just catching to 6 miles. I had to do 8 today. Some days are gonna be rough. I made it 9 miles. That was in the Forest Preserve, and when I got to kind of running to the neighborhood, I just had to walk, and I called Aaron and we had to get some Gatorade. I was starting to get chills, so just being safe and was short 1 mile. It's okay, it'll happen. Still plenty of training to do. So we are in Vermont right now. We've hiked several miles today. So I am going to run a little bit around the campground, just like 3 miles. Nothing, not too much. Getting back at it. 7 miles today. Seen deer, seen crane. Feeling better, had a crazy week. Tell you the long run a little bit later. Out for 16 today. The longest so far. Feeling okay. Trying to fuel, so that's new for me. I did it, 16 miles. I'm definitely feeling it. My legs are super sore. So hopefully 18 and 20 are okay, but I gotta stretch. Just banking those miles so I can think about them on the day of. I did it, 20 miles. Everything is just cramping. So I've been stretching. It was good to walk very slow, maybe more like waddle. But it was a decent time, and I'm just hoping for this kind of weather on marathon day. Last weekend run before the marathon, getting the jitters. But here we are going out 8, just trying to get in the rhythm and internalize the rhythm. Tomorrow's the big day. I'm a little nervous, but I wanted to kind of reflect on why I was running in the first place and think about that throughout the race tomorrow. I did run a marathon back 7 years ago in Chicago. The course is relatively flat, and I've gone several times to spectate, so I kind of knew at least a general idea. But this is very different. I entered the lottery. I entered the lottery actually in 2019 and didn't get in. And then last year, probably about this time in November, I entered again, and it was on a whim. I just was sick of the pandemic, sick of sitting around, sick of a lot of the things that actually have been really difficult over the past couple years, as I'm sure a lot of people had experienced. And this was one way that I felt like I had a little bit of control, even though it was a lottery, but some kind of athletic endeavor to just get up, get moving, and kind of dig deep in those places that you naturally have to have tenacity. I had all this other tenacity in other elements of life, that we didn't really have a choice to go through, and I kind of wanted to choose something to be hard and to go through and to have a goal around. And then slowly I started training when the miles were, not a lot, and they were certainly reasonable of what I had done in the past. But then the miles started adding higher and higher and higher, and the flight came closer and closer. And it was a reality. And then since we've been here, you know, when I run races in Chicago or do triathlons, I just go to the packet pickup and then I go home and I like live my life. But here, you're very much aware that you're not in your own city and everyone else is like wearing gear and out there running and talking about it. And so there's like all this chatter. Time for the expo. We're about 24 hours away from race time. Okay. Thank you.
47960. All right, Amanda?
Thank you.
Sure.
My watch even told me today, like, you're more stressed than normal. And I kind of had to roll my eyes. I'm a little bit nervous about tomorrow, but I'm really like thinking about how much of a privilege it is to just like be able to do this, especially after the last couple of years and being shut down, and the privilege that, you know, my body's able to do this, and just in general, like, being able to experience this is just a great privilege. So I want to be thinking about that too as part of my why. Again, to be able to dig deep in a physical way kind of solidifies, I don't know, part of that healing journey. While that is true, I also just want to have fun and realize like what a privilege it is to be out there. So when the pain kicks in and all of that, just kind of combining those two things together. So I'm really hoping for a good race, a fun race. I'm thankful it's not going to be snowy. And I'm just going to go out there and do my best.
How you feeling?
Elise Meyer says do it scared, so that's what we're doing today. We're doing it scared.
Off you go.
This is it.
I love you.
Oh, too happy.
Good luck.
I was getting on the 8:15 ferry, so I thought that was plenty of time to get where I needed to be. The ferry was perfect weather, and you're going past the skyline, you're going past the Statue of Liberty, and just the energy was, that part really was electric. I don't think you spend so much time with like other runners in other races. You're in the corrals and all that good stuff, but you just start up like little conversations with people. Made it to Staten Island, now for the buses. We got to Staten Island, and I guess I knew about the buses, but I forgot. And so we're all just kind of like moving along as like one unit, one fluid unit. And I got a coach bus, which was nice too. So we went through security, which was very quick. And then there are 3 paths. There's like 3 different colors. I was green, so I had to find that specific area with the green corrals.
No.
Made it to the corral. One last bathroom run. We're like 20 minutes out. They did the national anthem for every single wave, and then they started.
All ready, wave number 4, are you ready? On your mark.
Started, here we go. So I was prepared for some of the bridges. I knew that they were steep. No good energy on the bridge, but then there's no spectators and the bridge is quite long. So it's like 1 or 2 miles before you're getting any types of cheers. And so kind of relying on all the people around you to provide that energy.
Mile number 3, made it to Brooklyn. finally getting some cheers. Douse myself with the water because it is humid.
So we get off the bridge and then you're in Brooklyn. So every borough welcomes you, and they did a really good job. And they would say, "Welcome to Brooklyn." Felt pretty good. Probably it's like mile 6, but I really could tell that the humidity and heat was a factor. So mile 8 is where all the colors merge and it becomes one course. And that was where Aaron was planning on seeing me. And I was a little bit nervous that that wouldn't happen because it's a pretty popular spot and now you have all of the 3 crowds together.
Just saw her. She looked great. Again, I'm at like mile 8, so she's got a bit to go, but that was pretty good. She saw me, I saw her. Hopefully got some good photos. Now I gotta make it back into Manhattan.
It worked out. He has an eagle eye and he proved it in this race. My legs were feeling good still, but I could tell that this heat was gonna be a factor and I was a little bit worried. Again, with all even the water stops and going around people and just using that extra energy, I didn't have extra energy and I was worried about like maintaining that speed and even not slowing down significantly because of the heat. So then we went through Queens, and a lot of people talk about the Queensboro Bridge because it is another one of the significantly steep bridges, and you're at mile 16, so you're feeling it. And again, the crowds go away, so some of that, you know, extra motivation and pump up isn't quite there. But it was kind of exciting being able to go into Manhattan where there were a lot of people again, and knowing that you were getting into that last 10 miles and thinking, okay, here we go, like 10 more miles, that's a feasible amount to start counting down.
I don't think I got the greatest photos of her at 16, but she saw me smiling, waving. I think I'm gonna try and grab a bite to eat and then see her towards the end of the race.
Went through Upper Manhattan, then we were gonna go through the Bronx. So we went over another bridge.
Leaving Manhattan, approaching mile 20. We could do this, just lock in the rhythm.
So the police officers, when we got to the bridge, because they were like the only ones there, it was on top of a closed bridge, they said, "Welcome to the Bronx, you're welcome here, but you can't stay here." So mile 20 is in the Bronx, and that's just a big milestone, especially for me, because that's the longest that I've trained. So it's a little bit of a faith jump there when you are going on those last 6 miles. And one of the elite runners had said in the advice that she was giving was, you run the first 20 miles with your head and the last 6 with your heart. And I really think that's true. I really had to start digging deep, kind of finding a rhythm. So the Bronx felt actually really, really quick. And then we go over one last bridge. So now we're getting to mile 22-ish, and I am feeling it. I shamelessly put my name across my chest, and that really came in clutch when people were saying, "Go, Amanda." So I feel like there was kind of a lot going on in my brain, and we're just kind of like counting down the miles at this point and really just trying to put one foot in front of the other. Turn into Central Park, big sign, "Welcome to Central Park," and that really just kind of like gets you going. And around you, it is a little bit hard because you are dodging people again, because a lot of people are walking. It was hot, people are tired, but that end energy just really carried me through. And I did end up seeing Aaron at mile 25. I just chucked my water bottle that I was holding because I wanted to get rid of it.
So I'm in Central Park, along with everybody else, trying to find a spot that I can actually peek through and see. Amanda! Woo!
They They have signs up for how much more for the .2, and I swear that was the longest .2 ever. But finally made it across the finish line and got my medal.
Finish time. Here we go. I finished. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic work. I got my medal. Bye.
There's your NYC marathon finisher.
I did it.
How you doing?
I hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Oh
It
yeah.
was hot. It felt like 80 plus degrees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Terrence, I'm sorry. I'm trying. Reflecting on the whole experience, I feel like it was really worth it for me. Last year and the last couple of years have been really difficult, and so to commit to something that is difficult voluntarily and to push through it and to be kind of carried through by other people and a lot of the qualities of just humanity that are inspiring was really kind of healing in a lot of ways. Making a goal and then for months and months just committing to runs, going up the mileage, seeing those numbers and thinking, oof, am I really gonna do that many miles? And then pushing through, and then the next week increasing it slightly. And this time I did a lot of the training all on my own, so there wasn't really the accountability of anybody else. So I'm just happy that I made a goal, went through with it. I know the conditions weren't ideal, but that's part of it. You just never know what the weather's gonna be or what your body's gonna do. And sometimes you just have to work with the cards that you're dealt. Yeah, we'll see where this brings me next, and maybe we'll do another marathon in the future.